You know, I know everyone is sick and tired of talking about him, but he is one of our valued clients, and I do feel I have to bring up yet again another issue with our dear friend Val Kilmer, the man who was the Bat.
Oh, Jesus.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
What is the issue du jour?
Well, it's less shouty and violent this time, so there's progress. And I don't know what's been spurring him on to doing this, but he has taken to wandering around the town centre, leaving a big brown envelope in public places, be it sort of a restaurant, like an outside alfresco restaurant table, or on a park bench, or just on the floor. Scrawled on the envelope is Val's Nudes, and he's just been sort of dropping it, very obviously dropping it on the floor, and then just shouting really loudly, "Boy, I sure hope no one takes these nude photographs of Val Kilmer, the man who was the Batman, and also maybe puts them on the internet for a minute." And he gets very upset by the fact that nobody to date has picked him up, and nobody to date has actually been even tempted to so much as glance at the envelope, let alone open it up and look in there. And he sort of stands there for about 2 to 3 hours before scooping the envelope back up and dropping it again in the same place. At that point, he's so annoyed. I don't know if you've ever seen Val at sort of the top of his angst, but words don't come out. Like, you can tell he's trying to speak, but he just makes this sort of noise. With, like, one arm outstretched. Like, in a pleading fashion, almost like he's Oliver Twist asking for more. He'll make eye contact with people as they pass, and he'll...
Jim, yeah. I am too damn hungover for this shit. Can we just, like, get Craig the raccoon to set up, like, a website where, like a portal, and, like, put the pictures on it and be like, you did it, Val, good job. It's there.
Well, you know, I've considered it. I've considered putting the nudes up, just to satisfy him, just to satiate him and try and stop. But I don't know if I should. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't say. I've seen the nudes.
What's going on?
I shouldn't.
Mm.
Suffice to say, it would be detrimental to his career if we put them up.
Well,
I feel uncomfortable saying anything else.
Jim.
Wait. First of all, how? I mean,
Yeah.
how could it really?
No, don't push me on this.
It would be the most exposure he's had in
Yeah, if by career you mean
decades.
Mall Santa Claus, then
He's blacked up in them.
Wait,
he's what?
the one-eyed warrior's wearing blackface?
All of it. Like, it's... I don't even know how he's managed to do it with just body paint and his own naked body.
Oh.
But they are literally the most racist nudes I'd ever seen.
Okay, so but it's... is he just posing? What's the context, at least? I mean, okay, yes, I realize blackface is pretty fucking bad, but that could just be tacky as opposed to outright patently offensive.
Well, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, because it does almost look like he tried to make himself look like Batman.
Oh, okay, so this was just like a happy accident. He was covering himself...
I don't know if I would call this a happy
ostensibly
accident.
with maybe a black body paint, but it wound up being more of a brown tone or something.
That's what I wanted to think. He's also got, in some of the photos, there is a jar of strawberry preserves, which he appears to have slathered on his chest and tried to sort of mould into a bat symbol. But obviously, it being jellied preserves and his flesh being, for want of a better word, blessed with contours, it didn't really come out very well. And then you can see as he's gotten hungrier and hungrier as the photos went on, he just started scooping up the preserves and just eating them. There's a few shots of him, like, sat on the ground with his legs splayed out, like a toddler would sit, with the jar in between his legs, and he's just scooping a hand in like Winnie the Pooh, eating the jellied preserves, and it just makes... It doesn't make the imagery any more tasteful.
What poor soul did he get to take these pictures?
I would not like to hazard a guess, but the week they were supposedly being done, Brendan Fraser did come in with a camera and said he is not available for work this week. And that's the first time he said he's not available for work since 2009, so I am willing to bet that they both colluded on this. I phoned Brendan up, I asked about what work he was doing, and he just... That's all I asked, I didn't mention anything else, and he just screamed back down the phone, it's not racist. So, again, alarm bells ringing in my head.
That is a little bit suspect. Okay.
Either way, like, regardless of context, regardless of what Val was going for, we can't put them up. It's a good thing that people are very disinterested in opening the envelope when he's around town, because I don't think anybody should see them. I mean, even if they weren't racially charged.
What if we just show him photos of the David Hasselhoff hamburger incident? And say, look, the internet's photoshopping you, you've gone viral.
So many preserves. Sorry, I've been getting these weird waking dreams for the past few days. That could work. I was thinking maybe also we could take some stills from the Majin Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z and tell him that they are the photographs of the nudes. There are many ways we could work around this, like, pop a brown filter over the Marshmallow Man or something. But I don't know. I mean, Val often seems like he's not aware of the world around him, but he's sharper than he looks, actually. He's sharper than he looks. He smelled a ham sandwich I had 3 days after I ate it and asked if I had any left. So he's quick. He's a quickie. But sorry. Again, flashbacks and just think about...
Alright, so the Slaatvanian Ministry of Film has sent over, they've sent something over for us to sell to the American television market. I think it's a reality program. There's no sound on this video, but it's a lot of sort of kind of distant, grainy, almost like CCTV footage of a, I don't want to call it a prison, because I think that gives it a little too much credibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gulag, really. Like a really just everything that you imagine, sort of the dank corridors. And so they put all of these people in there. And then you get all of these scenes of people getting tortured for information, I think.
You think there's no sound, yeah.
There's no sound. Can't tell what's going on. But there's, a little bit of punching and rough stuff going on. But it would almost have to be reality television, because I can't imagine trying to shoot, like, a drama that way.
Yeah, well, they've already got a drama, and throw-in game, starring their local celebrity, what was his name? Kavan Spandens. That was House Card Politics Man. And they've actually got one, what was it? Government-mandated Gulag tattoo is the new black. They've already got that covered, so I don't know, maybe this is another Slaatvanian company trying to have their answer to that, but from the sounds of it, it almost sounds sort of like a found footage style film rather than a TV show. I'm confused as to the actual point of what you're describing to me.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not getting it either. I wanted to think, oh, well, maybe this is... Let's face it, most of this stuff is propagandist. I was thinking it was, like, cautionary, but there's so much of it. Like, so much of it. We're talking thousands of hours of unedited footage that, like, you'd think they'd have gone to the effort to do something, but no, they want us to have it, find someone to repackage it and sell it as
have it raw.
Other content. Yeah.
So if we were to market this, we'd need a narrator. We need someone to talk over it. I'm thinking possibly Chumley from Pawn Stars. or something, someone in the now,
Yeah,
someone of
yeah.
the moment, Honey Boo Boo or someone.
You want someone with a little bit of credibility, a little bit of audience draw.
Yeah, what's that? That Duck Hunt show that everybody loves? Oh, Duck Dynasty. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that's a big hit.
Well, no, there's that guy that's not allowed to be on that show anymore, right? We could always maybe get him.
Yeah. I don't know why he retired, but if we can get him, That'd be awesome. So we get that fella from Duck Dynasty narrating. I'm thinking maybe They Might Be Giants do the soundtrack.
Yeah, something to
we need something upbeat, provide if it's gonna be.
Provide a little juxtaposition.
Yeah. Or Rat.
Well, we can get Rat to do the whole score. Whole backing score for the show.
We can get Rat to do anything.
I mean, Rat has just an endless range of talent. People don't really know Rat that as well as they think they do.
I do. The bassist actually is my local mechanic, and he says he keeps in touch with the other ones. So we could probably get Rat for. Let me just work out the fiscal projections for this quarter. $5 and some honey mustard Pringles.
Right. Well, okay. So then we've got that covered. Who would we get to write the narration? I mean, we want someone with some gravitas, someone who can really convey.
Who's the woman who wrote Juno? She might be a great fit for this. She's down to earth.
Ellen Page.
She knows the struggles.
Yeah,
of the
Ellen
teenage
Page.
life.
She wrote Juno, right? Yeah. So we get the writer from Juno, Ellen Page. We get Rat on soundtrack. Duck Dynasty Man on narration. That's pretty good. I think maybe we should have like a beginning and closing host. I'm thinking possibly Dustin Diamond. We can film our own shots like what they did with Power Rangers, where they had some westernized live action stuff. We can have Dustin Diamond like in we won't call it Gulag. We'll call it the House of Hard Knocks. He can be in the House of Hard Knocks and talk to some of the prisoners. We can get some people to play prisoners. I'm thinking, Dean Cain in various different wigs. I think we could probably salvage this. And you say we've got just hundreds of hours of this stuff.
Thousands, really. It's,
Thousands.
There's a whole
we might need some
truck of it.
Some musical acts in here, I think.
Sort of bring on some bands sort of halfway through to make it more of a variety show as well. So you can see people like making license plates or breaking rocks, and then sort of after 10-15 minutes of it bring on like, the latest single from The Damned or something.
Well, I hear that the kids are really into Godsmack lately.
Godsmack?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. There's nothing we can't do with this show. And then as it grows, we can have, bigger acts. We can have bigger people to come on, some comedy turns. Get Louis C.K. on to do a little gag about, life in prison. Here's 5 hours of sad-looking men and women eating gruel. And then up next, it's Bastille with Pompeii.
Guys, I want to bring up some issue that you may or may not be aware of already with Miley Cyrus. Look, I know the girl barely passed high school, but she's concerning me a little bit with how she thinks the world works. For example, she came up to me the other day and said, Caitlin, I have this great idea. I thought about this. There's got to be a way that we can travel from point A to point B that doesn't involve wheels on the earth. It's got to be in the air. And I'm like, Miley, are you talking about an airplane or like a jet or like a, high-speed jet? She's like, no, I'm talking about an aeroplane. And she started drawing me these like insane papers of just like, they look like bat wings. Like some shit from the Wright brothers like just came out, and I couldn't quite understand if she was being serious, if this is like a joke, but I think the girl seriously thinks that airplanes don't exist, and I don't know how that is because she rides them every day.
This is not a new problem for her.
No?
This is something we've been tackling with for a few years. I apologise, actually, that we didn't warn you when we passed the Miley account on to you. Yeah, she does this every now and then. It's been an ongoing problem for, I want to say, the past 4 or 5 years. She is obsessed with the idea that one day mankind will, in her words, touch the sky, and therefore be closer to God himself, nay, live as gods in a world of kings. I don't know where she gets this stuff. I will say one thing, the drawings are quite nice. Some of them a little overly complex. There's one she did called the Winger Pillar, which was like a segmented snake-like thing that had like 10 wings on either side, and there's constant lines like coming off the drawings with Fig A or Fig B or Rotunda written on it. Like really good sort of cursive writing, almost calligraphy. Like it, and the paper, like I can give her like a white plain sheet of A4 paper printed today. She'll go away with it, come back in half an hour later, there's this beautiful drawing of some fantastical winged contraption on it. The paper itself has become brown, and the corners are all frayed. And you know, it looks like it should be in a museum somewhere. And I don't know whether she's, like, dipping it in tea or coffee or something, and then very carefully cutting and tearing round it to make it, you know, how children would make treasure maps in the olden days. But I can send her in an empty room and she'll come out with it. I don't know whether she's got the stuff on her person, or whether as she draws, literally the paper is just aging underneath her. Now look, I'm not superstitious, and I'm not saying that she's got the power to age paper or anything. Going off track here. The point is, 3 years ago, she got 2 cardboard boxes, opened them all up, separated them out, duct taped them to her arms, dipped them in glue, rolled them around in feathers, and then jumped off the roof of our building. If Craig hadn't have been stood underneath on his 3-minute lunch break, she could have been seriously injured. Now, you know, funny story actually, that's where the big scar in the back of Craig's head came from. And funnily enough, it was less to do with the fall and more afterwards, when Miley got furious and blamed him, said that the static from his brain had scrambled her flight path, and then she pulled out one of her many switchblades and just sort of dug it into the back of his head. And, you know, I felt bad for laughing at the time, but it was funny.
Well, and actually, Jim, you bring up a good point, because you're going to want to keep an eye on her, Caitlin, because this is going to come up again. Well, she's attempted flight once on her own, so just be on the lookout for any sort of physical signs that she's been working on constructing another flying apparatus. We have been, over the last several years, sort of cultivating signs of potential drug and alcohol abuse and, you know, lifestyle issues that could provide a handy excuse in the event that she should seriously injure herself for a while. We have a cover story already kind of established and in the works.
Well, I wish you'd go for that. We work very hard to make it look like she is living this rebellious lifestyle. You know, the body doubles we have wearing singlets and thongs, and the tongue surgery we gave her, you know, just to cultivate that whole lifestyle. If they could see the Miley we know, someone who, to be honest, wears grey sweaters and lives in a single-bedroom apartment in the middle of nowhere, and the walls are just full of drawings of aeroplanes that she's done, and Dastardly and Muttley and their flying machines constantly playing on the television. And the bit where I feel guilty, because a few years ago I introduced her to Nelly Furtado, and I think that's where she got the idea from, because I'm Like a Bird is constantly playing on a vinyl record in that weird bedsit she lives in. You know, I wish she would go out, do a lot of drugs, be seen hanging off the arms of many beautiful men, and live up to the lifestyle we want cultivated for her to keep her in the press. But a pop starlet building a plane because she doesn't think they exist is not a trendy image. And I don't know how we'd explain the fact that she is constantly on planes.
Well, let me just say that thank God we were there in the set of Wrecking Ball when she brought that cardboard shit with her and the glue. Do you guys remember that? When she was just gluing the cardboard onto her gray sweater on the Wrecking Ball, and she's like, guys, I'm gonna fly out. I'm gonna fly off the Wrecking Ball. I'm not gonna hang on. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna touch the sky.
That's it.
And we
yeah.
had to talk her out. Like, I just don't. I didn't get it then. I didn't know what she was doing, but I would have appreciated a heads up on this, guys,
I'm
to
sorry.
be honest, but
I saw the story. She wrote a storyboard out of what was going to happen. Like, the wrecking ball was going to swing forward. She'd use the momentum to glide off it. And she thought she would smash through the studio wall and leave a bird or bat-shaped hole in it, and then just fly towards the sun. And then there's a drawing, the last drawing of her is sat on a deck chair on the sun, drinking out of a coconut. First the plane, then a home on the sun. We cannot let Miley Cyrus get to the sun. Okay, heads up, people. We've got an opportunity. That's how I'm going to phrase this. We have got a golden opportunity. It's not bad. Okay.
You remember the last time you told us you had a golden opportunity?
Yeah, and I still think it's a good idea. Training orphans to ride on the back of pigs and duel each other in a jousting competition is a good idea. I didn't know half the kids were addicted to heroin. I'm sorry. I'm the bad guy, all of a sudden. But no, this is good. This is good. This one is a victimless crime, and it's not even much of a crime.
All right,
okay?
What's...
fuck it, go ahead.
Fine.
I have come into possession of a dumpster full of spines.
Spines, like
human
organ spines, like humans,
like
as in
plastic.
Like this is sort of like
what are we talking about?
Is it they're models of spines?
Okay,
or...
you know how people have spinal columns in their bodies. They're like the big vertebrae that runs down the back,
Jim,
and the ribs sort of sprout off it and stuff.
Jim, we know what a spine is, Jim.
Right. Dumpster full of them.
But for real spines, or are we talking about plastic spines?
They could be human spines, they could be monkey spines. All I know is they're spines.
But it came from a vertebrate animal. It's not artificially... These are...
FistShark marketing only ever deals in the real deal.
When you say dumpster full of spines...
Yeah.
You mean like from a sanitation... Did it come in the dumpster?
Right, you know dumpsters, right? Big metal containers, usually used to collect large-scale refuse.
Right, yes, sure.
Yeah, one of them.
Jim, were you digging through like a hospital dumpster? Did you sneak into the hospital again?
The word hospital has many and varied applications, especially the hospital in whose dumpsters I was digging, because technically it's not even a hospital. You won't even find it on any maps. So before we say I've been stealing from hospitals, let's pull back a little and look at the big picture and observe the whole slice of the pie in the pyramid. NASDAQ. Okay? So, now that we've established that, what are we going to do with all these spines?
Contact the authorities? Where the hell did you get
Don't worry.
A dumpster full of spines?
I feel like you're focusing too much on the spines and not enough on the spines. But said in a good way instead of the bad way you're saying it.
Jim, did anybody see you?
Does anybody know you have these spines?
Sorry?
Does anybody know you have these spines?
Craig was helping me to move the dumpster, and I phoned up all of my friends and told them I had a dumpster full of spines, because I thought it sounded cool to say, hey, look, there goes Jim, he's got a dumpster full of spines. So I thought it was fun. In my mind, the idea that having a dumpster full of spines was bad did not occur to me until you keep saying dumpster full of spines with this tone of almost hushed reverence, of almost as if I've killed the sacred cow by acquiring a dumpster full of spines.
I'm just a little more baffled as to how you thought we could sell. I mean, it's a dumpster full of spines.
I'm honestly shocked here. Like, you're answering your question within the question. How do I sell a dumpster full of spines? That's the question. The answer? It's a dumpster full of spines. Okay? I'm not talking about like 2 or 3 spines here. Okay? I'm talking about quite literally a dumpster full of spines. Honestly, in my vision, there is very little you can't do with spines. Okay? We could sell them as Art Nouveau golf clubs. Okay? We could attach 4 of them to the back of Dean Cain and market him as the new Dr. Octopus. We can do other things with a dumpster full of spines. And I thought I'd come in today and say, hey everyone, I've got a dumpster full of spines. And everyone would say, brilliant, Jim, you've got a dumpster full of spines. I see nothing but opportunity in the possession of a dumpster full of spines. And instead, I'm being told that suddenly it's bad that I might have a dumpster full of spines.
Well, I'm okay with it as long as nobody saw you.
All right, fine. I can get on board with the fact that you have this dumpster full of spines. You have this resource. You need to sell it. We can deal with this. Let's see. Maybe we could sell them as stew bones?
Yeah, not a lot of profit there, though, Conrad. You gotta think bigger picture. I mean, if the public is as excited about a dumpster full of spines as you are, Jim, even half as excited, I think we could market this as our next reality show, as our next Storage Wars Spine Dumpster edition.
I see. Maybe put the spines around the city of Boston and have celebrities look for the spine. We could call it Spinders Keepers.
Oh, okay, all right. I like that. Spinders Keepers. Okay, so we can just make it like a geocaching sort of deal, and we get a bunch of celebrities, and we just put them in the city of Boston. We'll make it like just a 1 week, 1 week we have these 5, and they all race and compete to find the most spines in the city of Boston.
I reckon we could realistically hide about 125 spines around the city of Boston. That'll account for like 10% of my spine inventory right off the bat.
Well, but we're just starting in Boston, because clearly this is going to take off, and we'll want to take it nationwide, Spinders Keepers Austin, Spinders Keepers Bangor, Maine, Spinders Keepers Los Angeles. I mean, hell, in Los Angeles, we could dump 300 spines and nobody'd notice.
And I always know where to get more spines if we need more spines.
That's a scary thought, but...
Well, I mean,
I'll go with it.
After I acquired my dumpster full of spines, I realised, hey, I've got a spine guy now. So, if we need more spines, let me know. I know a spine guy.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Caitlin Cook. Theme music by Ben Rama. Segue music by Alizar Chan. Our editor is Nick Malone. More episodes are available at fistshark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. And if you like us, give us a rating or review on iTunes. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, never let them see you sweat. It's kinda gross. Goodbye.